imagine it's going to be somewhere around the mid lane. I think maybe getting this Aurora for SeTab is going to be their priority, but seems like they want to try to grab a Vi that has made it all the way here into Game 2 draft.
I mean, Vi is a very strong pick. I wonder what they're going to give SeTab in order to have that synergy with it, with the Ahri already being gone and Orianna also maybe a possibility, but let's see. First pick being hovered for the side of Weibo. They first looked towards the Naafiri, now decided to go with the Galio. I mean, Galio can be very annoying. We saw it yesterday. It can be the kryptonite for some people here. Tian, if you're doing this, Jesus Christ, I have to stop getting hyped about hovers. You know, sometimes I'm just like, please do it. But it's better you don't. It's okay. You shouldn't.
We saw in the cams there, most of his other team got terrorized by seeing that pick. He started chuckling. He was like, guys, maybe we get a free game here? But the Galio is interesting to me, especially if they were going to already go for the Naafiri. I feel like you really want more proactive setup, and this does mean that I think that when we look at Weibo, while they are going to be shorter ranged, they are probably going to be playing either more of a dive composition or looking to kind of peel back, especially with how much mobility some of these champions already have. And for ThunderTalk, they want to go scaling. They want to go a little bit greedier here. They're giving Hoya a lot of agency in a side lane by having this Yorick. And we'll see what SeTab, he's been flickering through a couple of different mid lane champions. I think that the Rise is going to just be able to gain so much early mid prio again for ThunderTalk.
Yeah, let's see if they can actually use that prio this time to make it an easier way into the mid to late game. Because I feel like, again, their early game had some really nice moments. However, they had no chance of bringing it into the mid to late game, which is also because 1xN and Feather were just not on the same page and not really playing out their duo potential at all. So I'm very interested to see what these bot laners are going to take. We do get the Ambassador here for the side of Weibo, which kind of leaves the question of where does what go in this scenario, because obviously Ambassador is a very top lane favorite pick here, and Xiaohu has played the Galio in mid before, so that would be my expectation for this scenario.
All right, we're getting one of Breeze's best champions. I think that he has been just consistently across the split an early adopter of the Mbessa and one of the best performing players on this champion. So getting ready for that dive. I have to imagine Galio, Naafiri, Mbessa, you are looking for backline access. Frontline is not really going to matter all that much. So crowd control at a premium here. As we get into the second phase of bans, it's going to be Misfortune and Ashe taken away. So big focus for 1xN. Probably going to be looking to snap Kai'Sa on 4 if we're going for a dive composition, and we're really pinching the pool of effective champions coming in from 1xN. I would really hate to see a Jhin coming out from him, but
yeah,
we're going down the tier list. It's probably going to be his answer.
I hope not, because you're just so stuck and you're so slow and you're such an easy target for these players. I mean, if I'm with my very low elo brain looking at this, I'd be like, I want something with mobility, you know? I want something that might be able to make it out alive when everyone tries to collapse on me in the back line. Does that mean Ezreal? Does that mean... I don't know. Does that mean Tristana? I don't know. You know, something like that, but you would have to get creative.
I like the Ezreal. I like Xayah here as well. If they're going to be playing like this, if you're going to be inviting the Kalista to walk forward into you instead of the Kai'Sa, that is an angle for them to go for. If you have this Rise and you have a Vi, I still think Kai'Sa here for 1xN is perfectly fine. But we're talking about being able to have some of those tools, a little bit more agency to save yourself. Ezreal is going to be very good at that. So wonder what the bot lane pair is going to be. We're going to be getting Rakan here for Feather, one of his most famous champions throughout his career. Or are we going to be looking for, I don't know, I mean, you already have the, you could go for Braum, but yeah, we're going to see that Ezreal Karma instead. All right.
I mean, that's a lot of poke. I think that's a positive. You can definitely be annoying towards that other lane here, but ooh, this would be a very strong pickup, I think, because you have some very nice hard engage there, but Kalista Renata is probably the most played bot lane duo when you look at, you know, what you want to pair the Kalista with. You have very nice disengage tools. I like this. I think, again, the overall game plan from the side of Weibo is a bit more, you know, obvious. I understand they want to play this front to back. I understand they want to use their tools to hard engage onto the back line as well. On the other hand side, again, individually, not bad. not quite sure how they are going to make it work together in a way where they can actually punish Weibo with this.
Yeah, I mean, ThunderTalk have really strong side lanes. When you look at having this Rise, you're going to be able to gain mid-push. This bottom lane should be incredibly aggressive. Even if ThunderTalk are kind of playing a little bit further back, as real Karma, it's all about, can you get into the brush first? Are you looking for early prio in the lane? For Weibo, this is a composition that really spikes on one item. You're going to be incredibly strong. You have so many proactive tools even before the level 6 and especially afterwards. So I hope we don't get a resident sleeper game. That took 34 minutes for Weibo to close out that last game. That felt like it was done at 15. I want to see them really roll over ThunderTalk with this one. You have a Nefiri to be able to do that. You have this Kalista Renata. Light and Erha need to be able to perform and kind of close this one out. If we want to feel any kind of confidence, especially as a team that is on the bubble, really trying to make a push for top 4.
I mean, honestly, I'm also looking towards this Ambessa. I love Ambessa. I love how some of the greatest top laners don't play her ultimate as a skill shot, but as a point and click type thing, because it always hits. And I love that. I want to see that. I want to see big Ambessa ultimates into great follow-up. That's just what I'm here for. But because I'm always also rooting just a tiny bit for the underdog, I want to see TT in a position where they can at least look semi-competitive and make them work for it just a tiny little bit, even though I give the game to Weibo, no questions asked.
You say that the Ambessa ult is a point and click. I feel like a lot of these LPL games have been very disappointing in that factor. I've seen way too many Ambessa ults miss. That skill shot is incredibly thin.
Come to German Prime League. We show you how it's played. I'm kidding.
I mean, you have a Kiana player. You guys have some real dark tech going on over there.
We have some crazy stuff over here. So if any of you are ever bored and want to watch a cast you won't understand, definitely check out Prime League. However, we're learning from the LPL. You can see it every week. You know, the picks that are coming in are so inspired by these leagues. So it's nice for me to watch the LPL a bit more again as well, because I, as a caster, obviously learn from it and try to understand the meta read a bit more. And I just feel great when I predict something and it comes true, you know? When I say I've seen this and that happening, and then it happens, I just feel good.
That's the easiest analyst points that you get on a broadcast. And you're like, I think they should be picking this here, and then they do it. It's free dopamine here on the broadcast. So we're going to be seeing early game, though. Both junglers pathing down towards the bottom side. Tian actually going for a little bit of a different clear. He wants to go for his red buff last. It means that he will be able to have a little bit more combat efficacy as the game goes on. He'll have that red buff for a little bit longer, as well as also giving him some options here if he needs to visit some early lanes. Xiaohu already down to a third of his HP. The laning phase has been a big struggle here for Weibo in their solo lane mid, and we're seeing that continue here in game number 2.
Definitely also had a level disadvantage there for quite a bit, had to respect SeTab. And we can also see a similar scenario here on the bot lane. Obviously, 1xN and Feather, they have a lot of poke in this lane. They can definitely try and annoy Light and Erha a lot here and force them back underneath their turret. But as soon as Tian, in form of the Nefiri, is going to join this, which I would expect because you would want to play around bot side a lot, having a Kalista, it's gonna change. But for now, we can see Tian move towards this mid lane here, but the hot dog Nefiri is not striking yet as he goes underneath the turret, gets rooted, tanks 1 or 2 turret shots, and manages to make it out alive. Oh!
Wow.
Now that prediction is surprising. We're actually expecting ThunderTalk to win?
This is a good draft for them. I think if there's ever a draft for ThunderTalk to win, if I took nameplates off, I would really like their draft here. But knowing what these players have shown us, knowing with the nameplates how they have looked, not only in this series, but in series past, I think this is a fair, Twitch chat are just using the draft. They're voting blind. They're voting with their hearts, I think, a little bit here.
Just coping a little bit as well, which, fair point. You gotta give it to the underdog sometimes. Let's see if they can make it happen. So far, at least, their prio towards bot lane and mid lane is looking halfway decent. But now Tian over the wall, moving into the tri-bush, hasn't been spotted yet. And Weibo are looking to find something here as they go for the tempo heal. But on mid lane, you get the solo bolo by SeTab, who manages to pick up the first blood. But now at what cost? 1xN gets poked down pretty low. But they can't actually make anything happen here for the side of Weibo. And
oh, look at Xiaohu and Ren, though. He's
just wanted to
invading for grubs. He has mid-prio. Hell, I respect it. And maybe even tries to go for a gank on this bottom lane. They have no wards here. Tian may have accidentally just baited his bot lane into a sense of security. Erha's dead.
Look at this poke. Erha's gonna die here. Pretty sure flashes out, but in the end, doesn't manage to stay alive. And there's the second kill for the side of TT. And they kind of give me a similar feeling when it comes to the early game that I had in the last game, where I felt like, you know, these first 10 to 15 minutes didn't look too shabby.
All right, and then what happened afterwards? Mila?
We're not talking about what happened afterwards. No,
okay,
no.
all right.
No, no.
Okay, all right. Just okay.
That
well, in this one, we already seeing that Xiaohu did get solo killed, as we'll check in the replay here. That is also a massive minion wave in that bottom lane that now Light and Erha will not have access to. So a very good punish, and unfortunately for Tian, he tried to kind of move around the map. He accidentally doesn't spot out this Vi. So early game plans from ThunderTalk looking very good in this series. However, how are they going to be able to convert when we talk about the objective spawning in 2.5 minutes time around this top side? That, I think, is going to be the biggest question. We see another game here where SeTab has an advantage early on, but he's playing Ryze. He's not playing a champion that's going to have a lot of agency early on. It's those 2-item power spikes that'll really make this champion very scary to play against.
Yeah, 100%, as we're possibly looking at a gank in mid lane here. Xiaohu has to be a bit careful, gets rooted, and now has to look to flash out in order to stay alive. Manages to do just that. But again, his flash burned makes him a possible target here for a regank at some point.
He's playing, excuse me, he's playing Galio, so should be a little difficult if they do try to find them. We're seeing an early Dragon Start here for ThunderTalk, so making sure they're staying on top of the objectives, making sure that they're utilizing their lane priority. I like this from ThunderTalk. Tian does not spot out the Dragon here, and with him using the Scryer's Bloom, there's no way for him to really contest here. This is going to be a free objective going over to ThunderTalk.
Yeah, looks like it. There's no way Weibo are moving into this. Tian getting zoned there. Very well done by SeTab moving in as well. And again, I don't want to... I mean, is the comedy club open yet?
The comedy club is very open right now. The comedy club is extremely open right now. We have free tickets. We have concessions. There's popcorn that you can use to throw at Weibo if necessary, and you better get your spots quick, because we saw last game that opening did not last very long. Hopefully this game the door stays open, maybe for some more seats. This is an early Saturday night for them, early Sunday night for them.
100%. No, definitely having a lot of copium here, as the Maiden obviously comes in as a little bit of help here. But seems to be rather stuck, just, observing what Hoya is doing. I love how the Maiden sometimes just look like it's not doing anything, Sometimes she just stands there. So we get a seasoned assist on the bot lane here. Erha is getting targeted. Feathered finds the root, and there for the next kill, and the Feat of Warfare again secured for ThunderTalk.
Another Feats of Warfare completed here in this series. Tian trying to make an invade, but Hoya now collapses. He's going to try and be at least annoying. And look at the Maiden. She's like, look, I've been worked like a dog. All I do is I spawn in my little homies, the ghouls. They come down. They do all the work. I'm supposed to be your wife, Like, let me at least chill for a little bit before I have to go back to work and keep doing the damage in this relationship.
Honestly, I've heard of a bug where someone spawned the Maiden and it was just standing in base. I think Finn. It was actually Finn posting that. He was like, I spawned my Maiden and she was just standing in base and didn't move. But we do get a move from Weibo here. They're looking to get these grubs, maybe 3 at this point in the game, but they're looking to contest. TT are here, but they're at a numbers disadvantage. Ultimate from the Ezreal coming out from downtown. Very nice heal, but Xiaohu has to run. He's going to be targeted. SeTab with the next kill. Already finds a way to be very involved here. Very nice ultimate now from the Ryze. Trying to chase Tian and Erha, but they don't quite manage to pick up anything else. But now maybe collapsing onto Breathe here. Feather finds the root, but where's the follow-up damage? Can Hoya actually do something here? Manages to kind of trap him, but Breathe obviously having locked in Ambassador has to flash underneath the turrets, but manages to stay alive just like that. And again, we are trading the grubs.
We're going for more.
1-1 at this point. Oh my god, Xiaohu. What a nice position to be in. Can you find anything to do here, really? It seems like TT are happy with what they've gotten out of this. They got the kills, they got a grub. How much more do you want?
They're going to go for more, though. What are we doing? Guys, please, we really don't have to do this. Erha sitting in fog.
Oh my god, Breathe is super low. He's going to get picked up here. SeTab is unstoppable, doing a great job. 3-0 already. And all the hostile takeover is gone for the side of Weibo. And TT are looking for a chase. Feather looking for another route. Doesn't quite find it. Tian with the arcane shift over the wall. But there we can also see a little bit of what Tian can do. Called the pack coming out. Hoya has to flash over the wall. This team fight will never end. It's a play-by-play caster's nightmare. I'm going to take a breath now. You guys, please chill.
Yeah, Hoya, made that play. He actually ends up using his flash. A lot of summoner spells used across the board there. And I think the biggest benefactor out of all of this is SeTab. He uses another wave in top lane to be able to push. Yeah, please, get everybody, please, come on through, because this is a game where maybe ThunderTalk have their best opening that we've seen from them in a couple of series here now. 3-0 on Rise very on is a huge boon for them, and again, 1,400 gold on this Rise. The mid lane has constantly gone over to SeTab in this series, but the rest of the team not really being able to provide that kind of cover in game number 1. Game number 2 looking a lot more even between them.
I mean, I gotta say, though, I'm looking towards Tian here. I think Naafiri is obnoxious as a champion, because the second she becomes untargetable, I'm losing my mind. Like, yeah. I love it as much as I hate it. And I think she has these outplay buttons that once you use them right in team fights, once you find a way to layer what you have as a team here for Weibo, they can definitely collapse onto TT. They just have to kind of try and not fall behind so much, because we have 3 kills on SeTab. He's completely solo carrying this early game so far.
I am getting nightmares right now thinking about Weibo potentially reverting back in form to a former version of this team. There were so many years with this Xiaohu lineup, whether it was 2023 or 2024, where they were notoriously slow at just, hey, we're going to play around some of these objectives, but we're really just going to try and give. We're going to try to maybe play on side lanes. I think back then Xiaohu was actually a lot better about pressuring on the side lanes and being a bit smarter, but right now we're seeing a Weibo that is kind of slow to action here, maybe asleep at the wheel in some of these fights. I think we saw it in Game 1 in particular, and here they're kind of just showing up just to say that they're here for the participation medal. Right now they're making sure that Xiaohu gets a wave in, but you gave a turret, or you gave a dragon here, you give him free time to Hoya on the side lane. What are we contesting here as Weibo?
I mean, there's nothing, so I don't know. I hope that they know, but so far there's nothing. It's crazy, actually. I don't want to be too hyped about this, though, because I feel like TT have shown us a decent early game last game and then completely collapsed. We gotta be honest about that, but now they're looking very much more proactive as well, and maybe it's exactly this what I wanted, the little bit more of a competitive look coming into the series and not giving up in the middle of the game, as they have now used a little bit of time in order to try and punish up there, but not a lot that ThunderTalk can get here. They're looking to even out the lane state a little bit here for Weibo.
I think you're fine with this. You see that Xiaohu takes another jungle camp of Tian's. He already has the Sundered Sky completed. I can understand maybe some of the trepidation, especially with your item spikes being a bit desynced here. 1xN just now finishing the Trinity Force. You're waiting for this Rod of Ages to be completed by SeTab. Another 7 minutes before that is done. First 2 item spikes coming in. I mean, you have double Trinity Force now. You're going to have Muramana in like 5-10 minutes time. ThunderTalk can continue to have this lead and make Weibo really sweat for this first game. Or for the second game, sorry.
I mean, Weibo, they want to have an early day done, right? Like, I don't think Weibo want to go to a game 3 here.
Oh, no.
For them, on paper, it should be an easy win. They need to win this in order to, also keep up their own mental health, probably, as we're seeing some flashes. Very open playing field here, but not really anything that comes out of it. Flash for flash trade. Both heals used, but so far no kills.
Weibo, please don't lose this game. I know you wanted to see a more competitive series.
I
mean, I need Weibo to win this, please. Like, I think it is so dangerous, and I think a very exciting win for ThunderTalk. They still need to be able to close out. They're going to be able to catch out Tian here.
Yeah, he's going untargetable, but can he buy enough time? Nope. 1xN gets the kill over the wall. Another one for him. And all 6 kills on the map are for the side of ThunderTalk. And someone in chat just said it. It looks like a real gold lead. What are we doing with this now?
We've got 4,000 gold. ThunderTalk, I've waited for this moment. It's been multiple weeks since we've been able to get excited for ThunderTalk here. Hoya's probably caught. No! Don't hit the maiden.
They're hitting the maiden, but the maiden doesn't hit anyone back, and that means Hoya is probably going to go down. He's trying to take Breathe to the gray screen with him, but it doesn't work out in the end. Very nice use of the ultimates there for the side of Weibo, and kind of a showing of the possible potential that is there. But at the same time, it's just one catch in order to, you know, get back all this gold that you've already lost.
And it was a kill going over to Erha. That's exactly not the place you want that gold, especially with the premium that these kills are coming through. It's going to be the Herald even started here for ThunderTalk. They got the first 3 kills. They got the first turret of the game. They got the first 3 objectives here. ThunderTalk are playing a mean game here in the second one of this series. Can Tian make the steal? Even if he steals this, he's not going to be able to pick this up. We're getting a teleport now from Xiaohu. Breathe will not be able to answer. It'll finally be the Herald picked up by Weibo. That felt like still we are reaching a lot for this.
I mean, I have questions because I felt like it was a very hard commit to go for this Herald. Then we weren't sure if he's actually going to be able to pick up the eye, but for some reason TT decided, no, we're not going to contest this. It's gone, okay, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I feel like we've talked about how Weibo in this first game, even though they managed to come out ahead and have the upper hand for most of the game, it still didn't look clean. And I think that might still be the biggest issue here for them.
Now look at ThunderTalk, right? They've escorted Rise to so many of these side lanes, making sure that SeTab can actually pick up gold. This was a big point of this series. Away from the bottom lanes, looking at our 2 mid laners here, Xiaohu and SeTab, 2 mid laners that have kind of been on a downslide but are really important to their team's wins. And we kind of saw it in that game number 1, setting up with the Talia for Xiaohu. Now here in this game number 2, SeTab with this Rise. He is up 2.5 thousand gold on his mid laner here, enemy mid lane counterpart. And he is going to continue to scale, has already finished his Seraphs. He's 3 minutes away from having his Rod of Ages completed, and he's going to be a demon here in this game.
It's crazy, actually. I did not expect this. Right off the bat, I would have said I like Weibo's draft better, just because I can see how they can use their ultimates to really stress out ThunderTalk here, but so far it hasn't really worked out. But now ThunderTalk are still very respective of this Weibo roster, taking a step back, not trying to force this Drake. It would be a really early soul point for them at about 18 minutes, but they decide to not force it for the time being and just try to play it safe. Because I think for them as well, like, when was the last time you were so clearly in the lead? And how do you play around this now as a team who's maybe not used to it?
Hey, you got to take it and run, though. You cannot let up the gas, especially against a team like Weibo. They're going to be a little bit greedy. Maybe we kind of have to revisit some of the draft after this game. If ThunderTalk do end up winning, just the fact that we thought maybe with the Kaisa they were going to be able to play a little bit differently, but instead pivoting for the Callista. It's going to be a start for the Dragon here.
Yeah, they have to be a bit careful because Tian, he does have a lot of damage on his side, and now the TPs are coming in as well. We do get a full 5v5 scenario as 1xN is moving towards that mid lane just a little bit, but now manages to get the ultimate out. SeTab also moving in as well, but so far it looks like Weibo are in a better position to really fight for this Drake. They have more members committed towards it. They're really clumping together here. Tian needs to get this Drake in order to make something happen. Very nice ultimate layering, but can they actually get the damage out? It's the kill for Tian. He gets the enemy jungler. 1xN though on a killing spree, manages to pick up one as well, but now the Nafiri might be a little unleashed. Gets the Drake, but they have to run for the hills. kills as Weibo are getting cleaned off the map here by ThunderTalk. And Erha is kind of looking for a possible execute, but Tian is just too mobile. Just one arcane shift into your death. 4 kills on Tian. 1xn, I mean. 4 kills on 1xn, 4 kills on SeTab. But Tian kind of showing the possible potential that Naafiri brings into the mix.
We didn't even use our Galio ultimate there. What are we doing? Weibo, they're going to lose out on this turret. I'm actually pretty sure SeTab wins this 1v1, by the way. He still has the Rod of Ages. The Seraphs is just now procced. Yeah, walk this guy down. He's a real dog here on the champion here. I am very confused by how Weibo are playing, and despite losing the dragon, ThunderTalk still come out the victors in that fight. They are just having such a field day in this game here, and Rod of Age is now completed here for SeTab, so he's getting closer and closer to kind of being that unkillable raid boss. I think if you get something like a Frozen Heart, that's kind of it. That's the public execution trying to land here by Breathe. Still no Galio ult in this fight, I think is surprising enough. And I mean, we're seeing it in the picture-in-picture right now. Xiaohu's just getting hunted down in the side lane.
Yeah, and I also feel like Light does not get the opportunity to actually have impact. He's also getting picked up here as well. But for the first part of the fight, he was just off to the side and not really finding a great position to play from. Because I think we've all seen a Kalista that completely takes the fight over and just doesn't give anyone any room to breathe. In this scenario, it just didn't work out.
Yeah. All right, well, for ThunderTalk, 6,000 gold. They're going to continue to split push, and Weibo feel kind of lost around the map. They don't have anybody that can really competently deal with this Yorick for right now. I mean, SeTab is absolutely clapping Xiaohu right now in the mid lane. And who is going to really match any of them? Sure, you can send 2 people over towards this Yorick, but then you're going to let SeTab push on another lane. 1xn just getting themselves the mid-tier 1. It's going to be the start of the Otacon. Let's see if Weibo have any fight left in them. Breathe is not able to move for this play. They're more focused on mid lane right now. They don't even know this objective is being taken. The global announcement's going to go off, and Weibo are already late to this.
Yep, ultimate from the Ezreal coming out again as well. So yeah, should not go for the chase here. Send your little friends to maybe do some damage, but not much more they can do. Now, an interesting question, I think, is how does Tian fit into the jungle carry role? Would you say he's better on the tank junglers, on the enabling junglers, or is this carry performance something you would rather see from him and he's just not quite getting there yet?
I really have liked Tian so far when he's able to play stuff like his Xin Zhao and his Naafiri. I just don't think this is the right... I'm still questioning this Galio for... Like, this entire draft from Weibo felt like a mistake. I feel like if we're going to pick the Naafiri, we should have gone with Ryze. It's one of her most comfortable pairings. It gives her setup in mid lane. If we're going to be picking Galio here, why didn't we maybe do this in the first game when we had, you know, the Rumble matchup? It feels like if we're going to be going for dive, why do we have Kalista? We've limited so much of our range, and now we're going to be trying to play a shorter range composition into Yorick and Ryze. Karma, this is absolutely miserable to play from the side of Weibo, and you can kind of see that they don't have very many options. So, I mean, maybe Tian can try to have a 1v9 performance. He's kind of the only shimmering light of hope here in the draft.
That was a very nice cage there from Hoya. Even though he ends up going down here, he really predicted that. Was looking very nicely, but now Light with the ultimate. Can they manage to pick up SeTab here? Would be such an important kill. They were calling the pack, and SeTab is down! And it's the shutdown they needed. Can they go for more? As Feather is trying to find something, but the pack is here again. Not quite reaching the target though, as 1xn is trying to move forward, poke a little bit. But that is one very important kill for them. The question is, can TT get something back here on the map?
And at least they were able to get some of that gold onto Breathe, onto the Zambessa. So hopefully there's something here. Second item starting to come on through for Light. Seems like Xiaohu and Breathe are going to spend a little bit of time on this bottom lane turret. They're also able to get the flash. I think more importantly for me when I look at this is that the Seeker's Arm Guard is now done, or at least taken away from SeTab. So until he finishes the Zonias, he will not have that stasis available, and that makes him a little bit of an easier target here. And a great time to find that pick Fourth Dragon of the game spawning. Weibo look like they want to be in position, but recognize that there's just too much vision coming in from ThunderTalk to be able to potentially go for this. Xiaohu also does not have ultimate here for this play.
Yeah, they kind of have to respect that for the time being, as we're kind of looking towards where Erha is positioned here, but they are giving up the Drake. And it's the soul point in the end for ThunderTalk. We're looking to, you know, not panic, I would say, in this scenario. I think that kill onto SeTab was a very important catch, and TT have to be careful for not letting it happen again.
Oh, no.
But as we can see, it's a roughie, as SeTab is trying to heal himself up, kind of getting the shields here as 1xN is the next target, but now they are looking to play it again. SeTab is down, Light with the next kill. We're trying to buy some time here with Xiaohu as the front line. And some may have said he's become useless, but he did one hell of a job there, keeping his team alive for the moment. And Basta wasn't even part of this.
Yeah, this Ezreal Karma is so annoying to deal with. And SeTab doing the good work. He's doing the Lord of Weibo right now by giving over some more kills to the opponents, but it takes them so long. This gold gap has closed so magnificently from 6,000 now to 3. I still have a lot of worries. Again, SeTab 3,000 gold over his opponent, and even Light, or 1xN, 1.6 over this Kalista. This is a massive power spike coming in for this team. 3 item Ezreal, 2 items on this Rise. He's almost level 16 as well. This is a good pick coming in from Weibo. I am merely just wondering, is it too late? Have they really been able to push this game? It is now soul point here for ThunderTalk. I feel like if there's any more picks that come out from Weibo from the side onto ThunderTalk, there might be more objectives falling.
Hoya manages to flash the ultimate coming in here from Breathe. Finds one of his own, but not really anything they can do. With his ultimate being down, has to flash. But TT, they know there's a lot of attention towards that bot lane right now, and they're looking to go for a little bit of a burger flip here, getting this Baron done. They are on vision. So Weibo know this is happening. Tian is over the wall, and they are now realizing we cannot actually play this. Weibo have the tempo advantage. They come over, and they can bully us away. And we're down one frontliner.
We're fine with that. That's the teleport out from Xiaohu. So they got exactly what they wanted. They pull off of the Baron. It's going to be Weibo trying to punish by grabbing another turret here. Oh, they may have just found Xiaohong Ren.
Yeah, they're looking for something, but the turret still stands as turret aggro is crashing down, but they managed to pick up a kill. Feather finds a route onto Breathe. Breathe can kind of dodge away as Xiaohu is still alive. Manages to just move out of the target area here. Wow, it's become so tense, and Weibo are really, you know, trying to find whatever they can to make it back into this game. And so far, they have done an incredible job because the gold lead is so far down at this point.
Mila, is it happening? Am I witnessing the throw?
No.
The funny things are happening again. Weibo are going to maybe start Baron here.
Doors. I think the comedy club has closed its doors again. No more comedy for today. I mean, let's be real. Weibo has given us enough comedy for the next 2 weeks from that early game, but yeah, it looks like we're getting something here. They are looking for the comeback angle, and I think Xiaohu is shutting up all the doubters who said he's become useless because, you know, he is utilizing
that Galio kit to its perfection. He is literally 1.5 items. He is a Seeker's Arm Guard. He is down 60 CS, and he is barely getting any of his items. Please get something. Farm a wave. I'm begging you, Xiaohu. Please, man. Like, we're going to be coming into this fight. We are so weak. Seekers now can turn into a Zhonya's here for SeTab. Level 16 with this Rise. He's got caught out twice in the last couple fights, but still, ThunderTalk can still fight back in this game. They still have a lot of purchase here. The only reason that this gold lead has completely shut up for ThunderTalk, it is Breathe now, getting 3,000 gold in a side lane. The most consistent member for Weibo. Dragon Soul spawning in 40 seconds. If ThunderTalk can secure this, maybe, just maybe, they can keep themselves in this game and look for a win here in this game.
I mean, you gotta give it to Weibo, though. They've really found the right targets at the right times. That catch from Tian on 1xn was so important, and then also just getting SeTab out of these team fights early on. They have done a really good job at finding out what is most important at the moment. But yeah, they need to do just a little bit more because, you know, ThunderTalk, they may not be in this position very often, but they definitely don't want to give it up without a fight, it seems. Even though their positioning might be questionable at times. And it makes it so much harder for them as now the next Drake is on the map and we're looking at Weibo trying to move in. And they have to find an opening here as the first engage is coming from the side of Team and immediately going golden and Era is down. But it's a 1-for-1 at this point. You don't have a jungler on the side of TT, so you don't really have a chance to get this Drake. Smite is going down and it's Tian who picks up the Drake in the end. And they're finding another hero's entrance, but Xiaohu is getting picked up, getting caught in the middle of anything. Has to flash out as Breathe is running for the hills. Another route. Manages to maybe buy some more time, but you get the Drake, but at what cost?
Oh, Xiaohu. Oh,
yeah, no,
does
just
he live?
accept your fate.
All right. 1xn, can he do it? I think this is it.
Untargetable. Holy macaroni. It's the double kill and the ace for ThunderTalk, who are now looking to push into this base. It's just Erha alive, and he has to, I mean, honestly, do something. I don't know what he can do. He uses his heal, but that's not the way to go.
That's it. They're gonna end the game. This is it.
That's
ThunderTalk.
crazy.
They're finally gonna break their losing streak. They're able to find finally a win here, and that's it. We're tied up in the series.
This is ridiculous. I don't think if you would have told me that ThunderTalk will take a game off Weibo this morning, I would have believed it. I would have said, that's cap. You're capping. There's no way this is happening. But even though they fell behind a little bit or like got caught out a little bit, they managed to capitalize off of the lead that they got themselves. They really put in the work for themselves.
Well, a sentence I didn't think I'd have to say today or really any time in the near future. Twitch chat in trouble. You guys were right. Weibo can find a way to lose against ThunderTalk. Look, it's one game in a series, but it's games like these that kind of give us a little bit of hope and maybe cast a bit of doubt on this Weibo roster. And we came into tonight, while yes, a ThunderTalk win in the series was going to be a pretty massive upset. Taking individual games like these make it difficult for Weibo to actually push into top 4. They're almost, I would say, basically going to be looking at a 5th, 6th place finish at best. And I mean, now with their game differential, even if they win this series, they're going to move on to 17 and 20. Like, that's really tough. You're still below Invictus Gaming at that point. I think that this is a tough game to lose.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's the upset we've been waiting for in a way, but it's also it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous that it happened, and it's even more ridiculous how it happened, because let's be real, most of this came from SeTab being an absolute menace in that early game and bringing his team ahead in so many scenarios within the first 10 minutes that Weibo were just overwhelmed. I don't think they knew how to come back from that.
You look at their games. I mean, right now ThunderTalk are in a 6-series loss streak right now. They've taken individual games versus IG. They took an individual game versus JDG. But, like, how? How does this happen? The laning phase for Xiaohu has been a big problem so far in split number 2. And I think you could see it reflected. He's playing Galio, but Jesus Christ, man, we did not play this champion at all how it's supposed to. We had problems and questions coming out of this draft as to whether or not this Galio was really necessary. And I feel like this is a draft where, I don't want to say coach gap, but this is a disgusting draft coming in from Weibo. They had absolutely no agency in this game.
I mean, you could see that at least in the gold graph, there was this insane dip at about 25 minutes-ish where it just went back down, where it was this little moment of hope for the side of Weibo that they may have found something, an angle to come back with this nice Ambassa combo landing right here, this one. It looked really good, and it kind of, you know, showed us a taste of what it could have been if they ended up playing it well from the early stages of the game. But the fact that Hoya was in a position to trade back so much damage even in that scenario is ridiculous in itself.
even with the fact that Xiaohu got caught out in the mid game, made this game a little closer, I think that gold individually for this Rise and even this Ezreal made it very difficult for Weibo to play. And we came out of this draft saying this felt like a very kind of ThunderTalk draft. You have Ezreal for 1xN. You're giving your bottom lane duo something that they can play on that's going to be strong on 2 and 3 items. I mean, you gave SeTab one of his best champions in the Rise. They were able to actually perform here in this game. And I know we spent a lot of it being like, what is Weibo doing? But I think credit has to go over to ThunderTalk to being able to execute on a team composition that did require them to play on side lanes, and they dominated from the laning phase.
And it were these catches that kind of put Weibo back on the map, though. You know, picking up SeTab twice, finding ways to take him out of the team fight and just forcing him back a little bit. It were these moments where there was hope for Weibo, even though we mentioned that TT, they had this lead and it snowballed out of control and they wouldn't want to give it up just like that. But this catch onto 1xN as well, just look at it. In this scenario, it worked out, but then cut to a few minutes later, the other way around, 1xN gets the kill and the game is done. And it's just crazy how that snowball kept on rolling and there was nothing Weibo could have done to really stop it at this point in the game.
There were speed bumps, but I think we may have called the closure of the comedy club a little too early in that one. Maybe a little bit of egg on our faces. Definitely a lot over on Weibo. I hope everybody's able to go to the concession stand, pick up some popcorn, maybe some tomatoes. Yeah, the comedy club. Look, ThunderTalk, they had the possibility and the opportunity to do something very funny. Now we could potentially see the sequel here. We've had the doors open and close here in this series as to whether or not ThunderTalk were going to have a chance. But in my mind, if you can win one game, you can win two, especially in a series this close and with Weibo looking as vulnerable as they are right now in this split.
Yeah, I was just thinking, what's going to happen if TT actually go out with a 2-1 here? What if they actually win the series? Because the comedy club doors are in fact still open, wide open, more than at any other point in this day so far. So I'm here for it. Honestly, give me whatever. I'm here for the carnage. I'm here for the action. I'm here for the laughs. I just want to see... honestly, I want to see another game like this because it's just so entertaining to see ThunderTalk being able to toss Weibo around the map without them knowing what to do.
I think it is more fulfilling for the human soul to watch ThunderTalk win a game confidently than see Weibo and honestly, I know they're our next series, but I got to throw them under the bus here. TS just winning games from absolutely terrible spots. They're like, oh, we threw the game. Well, we're just going to win one team fight and we'll be good. You know, like, sweep it under the rug. History is written by the victors. You don't have to worry about whatever happened in the rest of the series. I would like to see Weibo get punished here if they're going to draft and particularly play very poorly here in the LPL. So a good punish coming out from ThunderTalk. Now, I need to see them close out. Please. Don't tug at our heartstrings. Don't give us a little bit of debate here by, you know, oh, cool, we can win one game, and then game 3 looking like a stomp. I want to see ThunderTalk take a win here, especially if they're going to be able to tie themselves up with a team like NIP, who is very close to them in the standings.
And now the question is, who got the MVP vote? It's 1xN. Very well done. I mean, I gotta admit, he did a great job on the Ezreal.
But this should have been SeTab's. But SeTab died. I think SeTab may have lost his MVP when he died twice around the objectives. That may have jeopardized his MVP. But either way, congratulations to 1xN. It's surprising that it is his first. But to be fair, ThunderTalk have only won 8 games up until this point. So not very many opportunities to gain the MVP. So either way, congratulations to ThunderTalk for winning that game. And hopefully get a little bit more from them in this series.
Yes, we hope so. But before that, we will go to a quick break. So get yourself some popcorn, tomatoes, eggs, whatever you want to throw once the comedy club opens back up. And we'll be right here for you guys once the third game of the series starts.